Hi, I'm Hazel. It is almost Saturday, so it's time for a new vlog. I hope all of you that celebrated it had an enjoyable Thanksgiving, and if you did not celebrate it or you're in a country that doesn't do that kind of thing, I hope you had a happy Thursday. And I wish a happy Black Friday to everybody that's into that kind of thing. Even countries that aren't America seem to be picking up on Black Friday lately, so there's been some shopping deals going around. I'm personally, I'm ex-retail. I used to work retail, so I take really strong pleasure in sleeping in on Black Friday and staying as far away as humanly possible from any kind of retail situation. I'll shop online if anything good comes up, but I don't want to go anywhere near a store. I've been there. I've done that. But I had a really great day yesterday. My husband and I took our dog over to visit a friend, and they had like a big sort of Friendsgiving thing with just a whole bunch of people and so much food, and it was just really nice. Oh, that was all good. This week in WoW, recently there was a blue post that both confirmed the existence of a legendary Softcap and also confirmed that it has been removed. So basically what the deal with that was for a long time, a lot of people that do just insane amounts of content. I have a couple of people like that in my guild that just do Mythic Plus all the time. They clear the raids on all sorts of difficulties every single week, and they're doing their emissaries, and they're just spamming dungeons, day after day after day. And they get up to 4 legendaries with a fair amount of regularity, and then after 4, they just stopped. And this was true of like mythic raiding guilds and cutting edge people that were spending literally all of their time farming for legendaries, and they would get to 4 and then they would just be done. And for a long time it had been speculated that there was a cap, basically. So after you get 4, no more would drop for you. So what was happening was people would actually get to that 4, and then they would either like start deleting their legendaries hoping that would make more drop, or they would say, well, I didn't get the right 4, but I'm in this World First Guild. I guess I'm re-rolling a new character and starting all over again because I need better legendaries and I didn't get them this time. So that wasn't really an ideal situation. So Blizzard actually stepped in, they made a blue post, and the first thing they said was do not delete your legendaries. It doesn't help. It was based on bad luck protection, and the alleged soft cap was based on how many you actually had drop, not how many existed on your character. And then the other thing they said was there was supposed to be that soft cap to kind of limit the speed at which people got it, but they didn't really anticipate how much content people would run to try and farm their best legendaries. And then the other thing they said was, well, it's gone now. They've taken that limitation off. You can now have bad luck protection will continue to kick in for every additional legendary until you have them all. So if you want, you can farm until the cows come home, and you will eventually get them all. Whereas before, the way they explained it was that you had guaranteed bad luck protection up to 4, and then after that they could still drop, but bad luck protection would not kick in. And the interesting thing that I'm really getting from this is that there were so many people that were so convinced that 4 was a hard cap, like that you could not get more after 4. Not just that bad luck protection stopped kicking in, but that you could not get any. And just anecdotal evidence from how I've seen legendaries drop from me and my friends in my guilds and people that I've talked to is that it seems to me that it's kind of unusual for a legendary to drop outside of that bad luck protection. There seems to be not like a hard number, but like a given amount of content-ish, like a ballpark that you have to run between legendaries. And it seems to be pretty rare to get them any faster than that. We only had one person in our entire guild, which had quite a few active people, get any legendaries before they all started coming in at once after like that first, I don't remember how many weeks it was, like three weeks-ish. Maybe more than that. But there was like one lucky legendary early, and then there was nothing for a long time. And then they all started coming in at once when everybody's bad luck protection basically started kicking in, was what it feels like. So the thing that I'm getting out of this, aside from the fact that it's really good they took that cap off for people that are running all that content, that are stuck on 4, you can now get the rest of your legendaries. You don't have to re-roll or anything crazy like that. But I think that the base drop rate, although they did say they raised the base drop rate in 7.1, but it seems to be so low that you're pretty much reliant on that bad luck protection. So it's less of a, oh, I'm going to get lucky, and more of a, I've been unlucky for so long that eventually the RNG protection will help me. Which is kind of discouraging for people that don't do a lot of content, but you have a pretty significant boost, I think, to your luck until you get your first legendary. I see people getting their first legendaries pretty early now. And then it's just that bad luck protection that you feel like you really need to lean on for numbers 2, 3, 4, and I guess 5 on now. So So yeah, it's good that they talked a little bit about the system for that. They've been frustratingly non-transparent about how the whole legendary system works, but I think I understand why. Like, if you tell people there is an X% chance from this and there is a Y% chance from this, and you are X times more likely to get it in Mythic Plus than you are from regular Mythic than you are from Heroic, and if they made all those numbers completely clear, then people would mathematically optimize the best time spent way to get them. Which it's, more or less been done now, but people would math out the best thing to do, and they would not do anything else. Like, if it was determined that doing your emissary cache had such a negligible impact on your bad luck protection compared to the time spent running Mythic Plus or even regular Mythic dungeons, nobody would do them after they didn't need their artifact power anymore. Like, it would... Like, a lot of people do people do the emissary cache for all sorts of reasons, but a lot of people do it specifically for that hope of a legendary. Like, that's your daily, easy, freebie lottery ticket, basically. And if people found out exactly how unlikely it is to drop from that, not impossible, of course, I've seen it happen, but if people had the raw numbers, it might reduce their enjoyment of certain types of the game that are less likely and sort of overvalue the things that are more likely. And if it turns out that high-level Mythic Plus were just, like, the by far best way to do it, then players that are classes that might not necessarily be good in high-level Mythic Plus, or people that are kind of averse to doing 5-man group content, maybe they have a raiding guild, but they don't want to have to deal directly with 4 other people and coordinate that much, they might feel kind of ripped off that they don't have access to the best way to do it. So I think that's kind of their motivation towards hiding a lot of how the legendary system works. I do wish they'd be a little more transparent on some things, even just like, I wish there was some kind of way to see how far progressed along you are in your bad luck protection. It doesn't have to be a number. I don't need to see that I need to do X% more content to get my next legendary. But it would be cool if there was like an NPC you could talk to, and they would have like a couple different text lines they would say to you based on how close you are to your next one. That would be kind of a neat system where it's not like it's approximate, like it's based on bubbles. I'm not explaining this very well, but I just wish there was some kind of way to have an inkling of how close you are, even if they didn't want to, and I understand why they don't want to reveal the exact numbers to us, but it's kind of a controversial system. In any case, I'm still sitting on just my one legendary, but I also haven't been doing a lot of PvE content on my priest. I show up to raid every week, and I usually try and do alt raid as well, which is when we clear normal Emerald Nightmare on top of Heroic Emerald Nightmare, and we're currently progressing Trials of Valor, so I do a good amount of raid content every week, but I've pretty much dropped off of doing dungeons. I've been taking all that time and trying to put it into getting myself set up properly for PvP, because that's something I'm just more interested in right now, so I'm not going to complain too much about not having extra legendaries, because I haven't really been trying. This weekend, just for videos, I'm going to be streaming this afternoon, of course, and then the VOD from that will go out on Saturday as normal. I don't have a Sunday video, and I don't think I'm going to make one just because I'm taking a little bit of extra time to stay home and hang out and unwind a little bit on the holiday weekend. My husband's home Thursday through Sunday, basically, so I'm going to spend a little bit of extra time with him. We have Pokemon Sun and Moon. We've been playing that together, and that's been really fun. I'm surprised by how much I really like Pokemon Sun and Moon. I don't know why I'm surprised. I always love the new Pokemon games. But the Alola setting, that sort of Hawaii-themed setting, has been just like the most peaceful, relaxing, escapist thing when it's like freezing cold with pouring rain outside. We've had really terrible weather here in Oregon for a couple weeks now. Or at least a week. Really, really strong rain, very cold, very windy. So it's really nice to look outside at just like this horrible, blustering, miserable storm, and then just like go back into your game where it's just like palm trees and happiness, and everybody's wearing shorts and Hawaiian shirts. It's really nice. So yeah, I ended up picking Poplio as my starter. For whatever reason, I was sure I was gonna get the owl, but I saw a lot of people get an owl, and I guess I'm a Pokemon hipster because I was like, well, I can't get that one. And then I looked at the final evolutions, and I really like the fairy water type thing that Poplio's final evolution has going on. I don't even remember what it's called, but yeah. So lots of Pokemon Sun and Moon for me. No video on Sunday, but I will be streaming this afternoon. The stream this afternoon should be, I think I want to do some horde leveling. I'm feeling very sleepy and not up to anything super intense, so I kind of want to just like drink a lot of tea and just like level my little horde druid. She's like 103 or 104 right now, and I really want to get it to 110 right around when 7.1.5 drops. I don't know when that's going to be, but I'd really like to get it to 110 so that I can get to 110 and then get that artifact research catch up, and then start getting her at least a little bit of artifact power. You don't need a whole lot on a druid for PvP, but you do need to get some stuff. I'm going to need some artifact power, so hopefully that works out. And yeah, questions from this week. Steve asks, is Mighty Bash disabled in BGs? It is not. Mighty Bash works perfectly fine in BGs. It's a little bit harder to pull off in BGs relative to pulling it off in the outside world, just because one is melee, which somebody pointed out to you, but you're probably familiar with that because you need to be in melee in PvE as well. But Mighty Bash requires you to be facing your target. And while that's also true in PvE, it's a lot harder to face your target sometimes, especially if you're healing. Like if you're in a battleground and you're just healing, you're not usually facing any particular way, and a lot of times people will just be darting around you like little fireflies. So it's a bit trickier to actually face somebody properly to get a Mighty Bash off. I used to have problems with that, but after a while you kind of get the feel for aiming your character in order to actually land it. But it does work in PvP, and if it's continuing to not work at all, you should check to see if you have any kind of weird macro setup that might be prohibiting that. If you have like a bizarre focus macro that's not working properly, that might be it too. So a couple people actually asked this question. A couple people want to know, can I buy games with the BattleNet balance? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. If you have digital BattleNet balance, either just because you paid for it or somebody gave you a BattleNet balance gift card, or in the future, if this thing goes live where you can actually buy BattleNet balance with gold, not only can you use that for in-game purchases, but you can buy digital versions of the games with them. You can't get like the physical discs or box or anything, but you could get a digital copy of Overwatch or StarCraft, I guess, or Heroes is free. But what else do they have? Diablo? I'm pretty sure you can get the games with it. So yeah, no reason why not. I think that's why a lot of people are excited for the BattleNet balance being added to the WoW token. And Matthew wants to know, hey Hazel, what are your thoughts on class mounts? So, I'm really excited about them. I don't know anybody who isn't. I don't know anybody who saw a bunch of really unique, cool mounts and went, ah, darn, there goes a raid tier, although I'm sure somebody said that. But yeah, they're great. I think it's a little bit disappointing for some people that may think that other classes got a better one, or they've also announced that some mounts are going to have different versions or different colored versions perhaps for their different specs, but not all of them, only the ones where it makes sense. So I can see people getting a little disappointed that maybe somebody else has a cooler mount than them. But overall, I think most of them look really, really good. I'm very much excited about mine, and I think they're a great addition to the game and a great addition along with the whole flying in Legion thing, because a lot of Legion, I feel, has been very strongly about class fantasy. I mean, you've got the class order halls, you've got your class order campaign, where you're doing very class fantasy related things, and of course they reworked a lot of the spells and mechanics of actually playing your class to kind of tie it more tightly to that class fantasy they're going for. So I think the mounts are just an extension of that, and I think they're really pretty, and I want them. So that'll be an exciting thing to get in 7.2, right? They said that was 7.2. Pretty sure that was 7.2. Anyways, that has been my week. If any of you have any questions you would like answered on a vlog, just leave them as comments on the most recent vlog. I'm hoping to see a couple of you hanging out for our leveling and tea stream later this afternoon, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!